6'2", 175 pounds, male, energetic, athletic, adventurous, avid cyclist, avid volleyball player. This is not a Tinder profile. This is, well, and it's not a story of love. It is a story of love and loss, but it's a profile of me before I suffered the accident that put me in a wheelchair. I had a spinal cord injury, and I broke the 5th and 6th vertebrae of my neck. And the reason I'll give you the preface of me before is because you have to understand where I was before to understand how people would view me afterwards. Specifically in the hospital, I spent 6 months in the hospital, and the first 3 weeks that I spent in the hospital, after those 3 weeks, I had not really moved much at all. I was pretty much paralyzed. I couldn't move hardly at all. And so if you don't eat much, which I didn't have much of an appetite, and you don't move much, and you start to lose all that muscle mass, you tend to lose a little bit of weight. I had a weight loss program that would not be endorsed by SlimFast or Nutrisystem, or I'm not going to receive an endorsement by any weight loss company, but I managed to lose about 40 to 50 pounds in 3 weeks, going from 175 to 125, 130 pounds. I gained some weight back. But that's to give you an idea of where I was and where I was when I was in the hospital. Then you have to understand that I was also, at that point in time, wearing what's called a halo. Not voluntarily. A halo is what they use to stabilize your neck so that your neck can heal. And it is essentially this metal circle that goes around your head that is bolted into your skull, literally, with these screws, and they're screw tight in your skull. There's 4 posts that go from the halo down to a vest that kind of hold everything in place, and you can't move. So I'm just kind of painting this picture to give you an idea of what people who are going to come visit me in the hospital have in store. It's not going to be a pretty picture. And I'm not even sure if I can fathom, how unpretty picture it was. And my dad, I think he prepared everybody pretty much when they would come to see me. And the reason I mention is the people who came to see me, they came to see me they had 2, I guess you could say, goals in seeing me. One that they were aware of, and one they weren't aware of. They would come by the dozens. They would come in the evening. It was up in Elizabethtown. It was at the rehabilitation hospital. It used to be a it used to be a hospital for tuberculosis patients, and it was originally built by the CCC in the 1920s. So all these amazing sun porches and porches in the front of the facility, etc. And people would come and see me, like literally the dozens. At one point I had like 20 people visiting me on one particular day. But whether they visited me in my room or I was outside, they all were coming to make me feel better. That was the main motivation. And they came there to show how much they cared about me, how much they loved me at this time of loss. But what was really occurring, and I don't think anyone was really aware of it, I don't think any of us are aware of it, because I think this is just human nature, is they would come and see me, and they were looking to feel better. They were looking to make sure that I was okay. And they wanted to ride home that night knowing that I was okay, to feel better. So I took on the mantle of the comforter. Here I am, the one in the hospital. I'm the one paralyzed, kind of dealing with all of this stuff. And people are coming and I'm comforting them and trying to make them feel better and trying to let them know it's okay. It's not a big deal. And it was just the looks on their faces. And I can imagine, I didn't look really good, but I can imagine, I just saw the looks on their faces, and it was something that I needed to do to make them feel comfortable, to make me feel comfortable, kind of deal with the situation. And it did get to a point where I asked my dad, we need to vet people or just say, I really don't want visitors other than my closest friends and my closest family, because they're coming just to see me. And I'm not saying anything negative about all the wonderful, amazing people who came to see me and who loved me and came to see me. But I think that's something that we maybe inherently do. And I'm aware of it when I go to see people in the hospital, that I want to make sure that I'm going and I'm not allowing them to comfort me, but for me to do what I can to comfort them. Because I've been there, and I know how important that is and how easy that is to kind of go down that other path and want that feeling of comfort and want that feeling of it's okay. So for whatever worth, that's kind of like my 2 cents, whether that be the moral of the story or not. But just think about how when you see someone who is ill and in a situation like that, how can you comfort them? Sit with them, watch a movie, just talk, and that's pretty much that's the moral of my story, I guess.